This is Rajyalakshmi from Chalapati Institute of Engineering and Technology. So my topic is from database and management systems. The topic is the integrity constraints. Integrity constraints ensure that when an authorized users modify the database, they do not disturb the data consistency. So if you modify the data, then only the data they do not disturb the data consistency. So we have to provide the security. So to provide the security, we have three aspects in this. So first one is a confidentiality, second one integrity, and then availability. So confidentiality is the protecting the information from the unauthorized users, and integrity is refers to the accuracy and completeness of the data. So security controls focused on the integrity to design the prevent the data from being modified or misused by the unauthorized users. And availability is the information accessible to the only authorized users. So here is the diagram for the security. So applied on the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And integrity constraints are introduced while designing the database schema. So the constraints are specified within the DDL commands. The DDL commands like create a table and alter the table commands. So what is integrity constraints? Integrity constraints are a set of rules. So set of rules are maintained to produce the quality information. So these integrity constraints ensure that the data insertion, updating, and other processes have to perform in such a way that data integrity is not affected. So if we want to process the any of the command like insert, update, and other processes, that the data is not affected, and thus integrity constraints is used to guard against the accidental damages to the database. In this we have types of types of integrity constraints. So integrity, we have four types of integrity constraints here. So first one is domain constraints, and second one entity integrity constraints, and third one referential integrity constraints, and then last one key constraints. So let's see one by one. So first one is domain constraints. So domain constraints can be defined as the definition of valid set of values. So valid set of values for an attribute, and the data type of the domain includes string. The data types nothing, we are using data types like a string, character, integer, time, date, currency, etc. So the values of the attribute must be available in the corresponding domain. So if you want to include, or if you want to declare a column name, so if you want to declare a column name, that is id. So id is in numbers format, so we have to give the data type as an integer. So the integer for the numbers format is available in the integer data type only. So that is the data type of domain includes a string, character, integer, time, date, currency, and etc. The value of the attribute must be, so if you want to numbers, if you want to generate numbers, then the numbers only available in the integer format. And if you want to enter characters or letters, the available data type is a character. So like this, and the attribute have specified specific values in a real world scenario. The example is age cannot be less than 0, anybody. So even a just born baby also, ours is mentioned for that baby. And telephone numbers cannot be contain a digit outside the 0 to 9. If you want to write 2 digit number, we can use 0 to between the numbers 0 to 9 numbers only. Okay, so see the example of the table. So in the table we are declaring the column names, which are attributes as id, name, semester, and age. So the data type of the these column names is id as integer, and name as string, in semester as integer, and age is integer. So here last one in the column age, last field is filled with character. So the character is not allowed because the age is in a integer attribute. And then second one is entity integrity constraints. In the entity integrity constraints state that primary key values cannot be null. Here we are using a primary keys in the table, but the primary keys where we are applying a primary key, in that column we cannot allow the null values. So this because the primary key is used to define individual rows. So individual rows in the relation, and the primary key has null values, so we cannot identify those rows. So for example, see the below table. So here we are declaring the column names as employee id, employee name, and salary. So three columns are there, and the employee id, in the employee id, the last column, the last row is a null value. We cannot apply primary key. Why? Because the entity integrity constraints cannot be null. That's why we cannot apply primary key on that column. And third one is a referential integrity constraints. In a referential integrity constraints specified between two tables, which means the data is derived from the first table, and the which means second table is derived from the first table. So the referential integrity constraints, the foreign key in the table 1 refers to the primary key of the table 2. Then every value of the foreign key in table 1 must be available in table 2. So see the given example. Here we have 4 columns: employee name, name, age, and door number. But here the rows are 4. In table 1 we have the rows 4 rows, and 18 is not allowed. Why? Because we applied the foreign key on that door number. Okay, so door number, we had applied door number foreign key on the door number, and it is not defined as a primary key of the table 2. So that's why we can derive the remaining three rows in the table 2 and applied the primary key on door number. Okay, so the remaining data is 1, 2, and 4 rows. That is door number 11, 24, and 13. And the last one is key constraints. So key constraints are the entity set that is used to identify an entity within its entity set uniquely. So why? Because we are applying the primary keys here. So that's why what is a primary key? Primary key is a unique values. It defines only, it allows only unique values. So here in the example we are declaring two ID values as the same, that is 1002. An entity set can have multiple keys, but out of which one key will be primary key. Okay, so here a primary key can contain a unique values in the relational table. So here it not allowed the 1002. Why? Because it must be in a unique. Why? Because we are applying the primary keys on a primary key on a ID. So thank you.